Well, hello. So this past weekend, I went down to Leeds, South Dakota. Spent a couple of days there. It was the great weekend I'd planned. I got sick and headed home early. Sorry, a souvenir from Leeds. But anyway, okay, souvenir still giving gifts. But anyway, I got sick and headed home from Leeds. But while I was in Leeds, I only took a few pens with me, and I'm going to talk more about that in Friday's video. But one of the pens I took with me was the Loft Pens Winchester. And I can't wait to show it to you. So let's look at the pen, and I'll tell you all about it afterwards. All right, so I screwed the pooch on that one. So I talking happily along, showing off my packaging, and god damn it, the pen is not, the camcorder wasn't running. So I don't really want to repackage everything and pretend like this is all new, so we'll just quickly run through it. The pen arrived in a plastic bag with a seal on it. It arrived with a nice, some stuff, so Loft Pens, bespoke. On the back side, we have information like it's a Winchester, size of the nib, finish, my name, and the date it was made, which apparently is March 7th, 2024, because the Europeans do their dates a little differently than we in the United States. Came with a bag of tea. Came with some doodads. I think I know what they're for now, but I don't have them all figured out why. And it arrived in a nice box, which I had taken it out of when the camera suddenly started blinking its "I'm shutting off now" message. But yeah, Loft Pens. Pen was in there. Cover comes off. Has a nice holder here and a basket. The nice holder I think I can set back in the basket like this if I want to. And then I could put the pen. Maybe it doesn't want to fit it. Yeah, it doesn't really want to fit. But anyway, it doesn't matter. And then I have all these odds and ends, which I was struggling to figure out what they were for. But then I noticed that like these little triangle pieces, don't know what they're for, but they'll sit in these holes here. Nothing else will. So I'm guessing that's what it's for. And then here in the middle, we've got this piece to hold the pen, which I can snork out. Whoops. I'll have to retrieve that later. I just kicked it onto the floor. But apparently I could put this in here and set the pen nicely like this. Or, I guess I could set this piece in and maybe have the pen more vertical. I don't know, but now you've seen the pen, so who cares about all the packaging? Let's take a look at the pen. So just pop that all in the box, and hopefully I don't step on that piece in the meantime. Alright, so the pen arrives in a cellophane wrapper, and there it is. So let's set it down for a proper look. Now, my usual problem with rainbow colored pens is they're not that good looking. But I think this one is good looking. So you can see there's a little bit of shimmeriness and sparkles in the finish. And a wide variety of color. And then we have these black bands that I cannot feel at all when I run my fingernail up and down the pen. The end here is very red looking. Very dark red. So, very unique pen. Open it up. It is a screw pen. Let's see how many unscrewings we have to do. I'm kind of guessing 1, 2. Okay, about 2 screws. Unscrews. 2. So I got it with the Bach nib, which is not the same beast as the vintage Bach nibs. I believe this is a double broad. Let's see if I can find out real quick.
12 seconds later.
I can't remember what size I ordered, but I think it's a double. I think it's a double broad, but it might be a broad. You also had the option of getting. Yeah, I think it's a broad. You also had the option of getting a double of a Yovo nib, but it says that the double broad is 1.5 millimeters, and that's no 1.5 millimeters. So open it up, and it does come with a converter. Now, a classy, beautiful pen like this deserves a classy, beautiful ink. So let's put some Parker Quink washable blue in it. If you were fooled by that, you haven't been watching this channel for very long. Alright, so I've been using so much of this ink that I got to tip it on its side now to get a fill. Well, once worked. Twice is actually almost totally full, so we'll just go with that. Of course, tipping it on its side gets ink in more places. I'm wondering if the black might not be ebonite. I'm just looking at the threads here. I don't know that, but I'm just wondering. Perhaps there's a chemical test I can do. Would want a non-destructive test, of course. I bet I could eyedropper this also. Decently thick walls, too, to this pen. For what that's worth. Alright, let's do a first impression of this thing. So this is the Loft Pens Winchester. The ink, of course, is Parker Quink. Washable blue. This does feel good on the paper. I'm holding it about here, so kind of on the threads, but not really. Not bothering me, though. It feels very comfortable. As far as flex, yeah, I didn't really expect any. The vintage Bach nibs were known for their flex. At least the gold ones were. This is not vintage. Wetness and flow. Actually wasn't bad at all. I'm kind of liking how this is laying down a line. Of course, to hear the rest of my first impressions, I will film the talking part of this video several weeks later or more. One case recently, it was years later. But anyway, I'll tell you my final verdict then. So this says, let's see, reverse writing. Always a gamble. On the downstrokes, it's very smooth. On the across strokes, it's kind of scratchy. And finally, the world-famous Pierre Gustafson test. Actually, I think it did very well. I've had a batch of pens failing this test just lately in videos that I've filmed, but this one passed it. And I'm trying to think if I've got a pen with a modern Bach nib on it. Okay, to pose this picture, because it has no clip, I got to hold it in place. So that's the Loft Pens Winchester. I bought that on Etsy, and holy cow, what a beautiful pen. So I have always been interested in a rainbow pen. Every June for the past couple of years, I've done a rainbow flag made out of pens. I have looked at rainbow pens and I've just always thought, whoa, that's really garish, or wow, that's so cartoonish, or oh my god, I can't pay for that. And I found this, and it is beautiful. I love the finish on this pen. Now, I don't know what all goes into making it. I don't know what the black in between is made out of. Is it ebonite? Is it acrylic? I don't know. But there's something about this pen that is right, and it looks good. And none of that would matter if it didn't write well. But this pen writes really well. I enjoyed writing with it during my time down in Leeds, South Dakota. I didn't bring my typewriter. I had actually a very limited selection of pens with me. And I didn't write with any of them, even though I'm going to pretend like I did when I filmed the video, except for this one. This was glorious. So, yeah, I'm very happy with it. It's very comfortable in the hand. A little bit lighter pen, but that's okay. The threads don't bother me at all. It's the right size to hold. Caps, okay. And no clip, so, the fact there's no pocket in this shirt doesn't bother me because I'm not doing the pocket test without a clip. But I'm very happy with it. I have found myself kind of looking at it and turning it over and over like this and thinking, oh, my precious. But really what I keep looking at is the chatoyancy. Just a neat little underlaying detail. And another neat underlaying detail I did not notice when I filmed the writing sample, but I hope you can see. When I put the cap and pen side by side like this, let's see if I can... Nope! It's not going to show up on the camera. But anyway, when I put the cap and section side by side like this, the colored bands here on the writing, on the grip section, match the colored bands on the cap. That is an impressive piece of detail. I don't have very many pens that pay that close of attention. So, very impressed by that. So, is it worth the price? I don't know. I mean, when you get to pens this price, probably not, but damn, I sure like it. I like this pen a lot. Very happy with it. So, hope this was useful, hope it was interesting, and I look forward to seeing you on Friday when this is one of the 4 pens that went with me down to my trip to South Dakota. And no, it didn't get me sick. So, anyway, we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.